This is my fourth attempt to do a video. It keeps skipping and cutting out every other word, and I don't know how to stop it, so if this doesn't work, you're getting a bad video. Too bad for you. I have a sore throat right now, so I'm just not really into this. But I wanted to show you a video. I hadn't done one in so long that I wanted you to know I was still thinking about you, right? This is the 29, the first 29, I can say now, because I have a second 29. I haven't done my weekly maintenance, so it's overgrown, messy. I wanted to show you so you could see what that was like. You can see the Hygrophila deformis. It's up top in the back there. The green stuff is way overgrown and reaching across the top of the tank. This gets hacked down every week, so it's a very fast growing. It's a weed. And for this tank, you can see on the left there, I switched out the driftwood and moved the large red sword that was over there over to the new 29. You'll see that later. I can see a few leaves floating that I need to pull out, and I can see that the new Anubias that I had tried to anchor onto the log on the right side has been pushed out again by the bamboo shrimp. They do this whenever I try to plant new Anubias. They push it out, so it's floating. It's floating now because they pushed it out. It's alright, I'll win eventually. Other than that, I don't know. Oh, I pulled out gave away most of the large platies that were in here. There were about 15 of them. I think there's still 2, yeah, there they are. There's still 2 left I haven't been able to catch yet. They don't bother the other fish, but because of their size and their activity, they do spook them. And the ghost shrimp too. So I really wanted them out of there, and they were driving me crazy again. So we're back to neons, and they're nice. And a lot of baby platies. Sorry for the background noise, the heater just kicked on. It's kind of loud. Well, like I said, we're going to push on through. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I did to start up this tank. Better late than never, I guess. Because I've been starting up the second 29, so I kind of wanted to have them, compare them for your sake. Let's see, this tank has been running 7 months, something like that, I think. I have to look. Okay, it's been running a while. It is a well-established tank. I wouldn't call it, I'd still feel like it's a new tank, but it's not. So, everything I'm about to tell you, that's, if I say, oh, this is horrible, this is what I mean by horrible. So, it's not horrible. Okay, so the thing with aquariums is, especially with plants, is that you'll look on one person's Bookworm website and they say, this is the only way you do it, you have to do it this way. And you go to another, and they'll tell you the exact opposite, well, not the exact opposite, but very different, and say that their way is the only way, and you have to do it their way. It's to the point that you could spend hundreds of dollars on when you didn't need to, and still fail. Because it isn't about, how can I say, every time you set up a tank, you need to consider your environment. What water are you using? What the temperature and the humidity of the area you're living in is like. You need to consider these things, and you will eventually find your balance in the tank. Anything you can do so much in any place. It may not be precisely what you want to do, but you can grow plants anywhere. Think of it as it is a garden, except that it's not outdoors. So the nutrients in the sun you need to supply. This is not natural. There are no tides to replenish nutrients into the substrate. You have to do that. But other than that, you can consider this. This is a garden. It's going to change. You're going to want to change it. You're going to want to try new things, and sometimes you'll succeed. You may not have the flourishing garden that some other professionals have, or you might. It's about your tank. Okay, so every time you set up a tank, you need to kind of, I don't know, I feel my way, basically. I'll tell you a few things that did work for me, and I'll tell you what worked and what didn't about this tank. That's kind of what this video was supposed to be about. I didn't do my video. I told you I would tell you about the setup. So that's what this is. We're going to keep it short. Try to, anyways. Like I said, I'm not, or did I say? I said it on one of my other videos. I apologize. I have a sore throat. So, okay, so I want to tell you as a disclaimer, I normally use, in the past, I've normally used the same thing. I use laterite, which is it's a red clay, soft red clay, and dirt, which is either purchased for the purpose, or designed for the purpose of aquatic plants, or purchased from a, Home Depot or something like that, garden center, in an organic section. One or the other, they both work. I have done specially made plant soil. I can tell you it looks more like very, very fine silt. That's a difference. The plants do like it, but I don't know that it's any better than using dirt from a nursery. You just got to be careful when you first start it up, because you're going to have this rush of nutrients and nothing to eat it. You need, when I start my tanks, I start planting heavily right away, because I want, well, not super heavily, but I plant right away so that there's something there to pick up the nutrients that are being put in the water, because otherwise you're going to have an algae problem right away. So that's, you'll learn. Anyway, this tank. Alright, so what I did for this tank, however, is different. I wanted to try Eco-Complete. I'd read about it, I just wanted to try it. I also had some, when I got this tank, I got off Craigslist, I guess. Yeah, Craigslist. And a couple somebody just stirred something up there over on the right. And the platies get into it sometimes, and they'll make a mess. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. So this thing was picked up from Craigslist, and two very wonderful people picked it up for me in their tank, their truck, and with it came some filters and some leftover Flourite and a heater. I went ahead and used the heater. It's a different heater than what I normally use. I am a control freak. I prefer to have a heater that I can control the temperature. I can raise it, I can lower it, I can do whatever I want with it. This one is a preset heater. It keeps the tank at 75, no matter what. I can't change that temperature without putting another heater into the tank, which I've done. Not currently, but I got a new fish once that immediately came down with ick, so I was like, well, let's raise the temperature a little bit. And so I had to put another heater in the tank to raise the temperature, because this heater I cannot adjust. And honestly, it's okay, I don't mind it. Other than I can't raise it if I want to, but it's not bad. It works. I think it's made by Tetra. It's hidden. You can't see it. It's behind the red plant. It's back a little bit. I can't really. I'm trying to give you something interesting to look at, but all you got is plants. All right, so that's the heater. I always put heaters in my tanks, so all my tanks are tropical, and you don't necessarily have to do that for plants. Everything's yellow. What is that? That's not the tank, that's the camera. Oh well. The thermometer, it's a heater, there's a heater. I always use a heater. And yes, in the wintertime, on my other tanks, I might have to adjust the heater because it's colder in the room. This one, however, automatically just kicks on. It kicks on every time. So it's kind of interesting. I've never used that type of heater before. Still not sold on it, but it was free. So the extra fluorite, I tried using fluorite once and I didn't really care for it. It's baked clay, which you'd think is ideal for plants because it's clay and they like all that iron, but it's hard to plant in, and it I don't know if I don't know. I guess I used it here for color. I didn't use it because the plants would be happy with it. And that's the orange stuff in the corner there. So that's why that's there. That's not there for any reason other than decoration. There's a Powerhead you can see. I think I already talked about this in my 10-gallon video, that I don't use much filtration here, if anything. The Powerhead's there to circulate the water so that the tank remains heated fairly evenly, and the nutrients get stirred around and spread to the plants. It's not a strong current. My new 29 is a little bit different, but we'll go over that later. This one just has a Powerhead. I had 2 Powerheads in here, but I'll never buy an AquaClear Powerhead again. They suck. Well, they don't suck, that's the problem. Yeah, very unreliable, and constantly constantly fighting it. But that's what we got going in here right now, and it circulates the water. So, let's see. Well, the last thing is lighting and gravel. So the lighting on this tank, I hadn't used T5s before. This one has 2 T5 bulbs. Very excited about that because I'd never used T5s before. The strip light that came with this tank died. I had 2 T5s and a T8 to start, and that didn't last very long because the T8 strip just died. The T5s are working okay. I would consider it a low light tank. One of them's 6,500 and the other one's 10,000, I guess. So the spectrum isn't ideal for plants, but it's pretty good. But it's, again, I would consider this a low light tank. That means it will affect my selection of plants. However, if I had different soil, I could try different plants. But I'm going to tell you about the soil now. So the soil isn't actually soil. I wanted to try Eco Complete. So that's pretty much what's down there is Eco Complete. And I can tell you, well, things are growing, but not growing as well as they would if I had done dirt or just about anything else. Why are we getting so much reflection all of a sudden? Alright, well anyway, it's Eco Complete. Now Eco Complete is a wet lava rock. It's crushed lava rock, which is, lava rock's ideal. It holds, it's got so many little pockets and things that just hold, it's a bed for bacteria. It's wonderful. But it doesn't contain any nutrients, really. Well, some, but it doesn't hold the nutrients, so it's a fantastic sponge, but you still have to put something down there. So I think ideally I would use, the next tank I set up, I would use dirt, and I'd still use laterite. I'd use laterite, some sort of clay I'd use, and dirt, and cap it with the Eco Complete. I think that would work out really well. I didn't really have to cycle the tank much. I mean, because it came with the bacteria. That's why it's wet. It's wet substrate. You'll see some other products like that. The thing I don't like about Eco Complete is that it's really hard to plant stem plants. Very difficult. I had to weigh them down. If you've ever tried to plant in Flourite, then you know what I'm talking about. There's a bamboo shrimp over there. She's come out to play. Or he, let's see. Can't see. The thing about Eco Complete is, like I said, no nutrients came really. I still need to supplement. I use liquid and tablets now. Now, to be fair, after some time, you got to do that with dirty tanks too. Eventually, those nutrients are used up, and you need to supplement. You need to put something in there so that they can soak up the nutrients again and hold them till the plants need them again. And it's just a different. What word do I? It's a different sponge. It's a different way of holding the nutrients for the plants. I think, like I said, I think I still prefer dirt, but for planting purposes, the Eco Complete was a real pain. I do like the color though. It's like it's black, but it's got a little bit dark red to it. Let me see. I'm gonna zoom in here. Excuse me a second. All right. I'll show you. There. Can you see that? That's not the Flourite spreading over. That's actually the Eco Complete that I'm using. After however many months, 7 months I guess, it does fade a tiny bit, and there's some red, and some red shows up, and that's not the Flourite. Over here is the Flourite. Alright. And a new moss ball. Look at that, the baby fishy like it. There we go, Flourite. That's Flourite. And they have, where am I going? I'll show you some fish. How about AutoCat? I love AutoCat fish. They're cute. So, I don't know. Everything's working in here because I've made it work. That's what I mean about trying to find something that works for you. Balance out your tank, and you'll figure it out. But it may not be that your ideal. Your plans are going to change. You have to accept that when you're kind of faking it like I am. I wanted to try out the Eco Complete, and I did, and I would call this tank successful because I'm enjoying it, and things are growing and living in it. So that's what I would say. I would never do all Flourite, even though it is a neat substrate and it looks cool, and it's supposedly baked clay is good for them. See, that's a bamboo shrimp. She didn't like me. She was on the log and she just moved down. Let's see if I can catch her. She's like, no, I don't want to be in this video. Go away. Oh, you can't see her. Oh well, sorry. She was there and I was zooming in and she knew it. Alright, but the thing about this tank, my water is in the winter time, let's go back here. In the winter time, the water is harder. I have hard water. And so the chemistry of the water in my tanks, of course, changes because I'm using tap water. So it's around 7 pH in the summertime and about 7 too in the wintertime. And that does change the behavior of everything in your tank. If you watch your tanks every day, you notice it. Everything's doing alright in here. I'll do a video about the other 29 later. It's very exciting. I've been starting it up. It's going to be very different. Speaking of filtration, the lighting is different. The filter is different. The substrate's a little different. And the plants are different. But the fish are different. I'm really excited about it. As you can tell, I like just trying new things and seeing what works. And what works can stay, and you change things that don't work. I have to do my tank maintenance now, so I'm going to stop this video. It is, I don't know, this tank's worked out. It's beautiful, it's active, it's overgrown right now. Over here on the left, I got another type of hygrophilia. I forgot to tell you that. I forgot the name of it, in fact. Picked up at Petco or whatever. It's a stem. This one's another stem. It's stems, and they're small, and give it a week. Let's see what happens to it. So, sorry for the sloppy video, and I'm not really all here, so, and this is the 4th time I've tried to do this, so I hope I remember to tell you everything that I told you in the other ones. If you have any questions, you know, you can ask.